Good evening. Welcome to Blast Radius Podcast. This is our 4th episode. Thank you to everyone tuning in this evening. And once again, we're here to discuss pretty much everything under the sun, whether it be something that tweaks our intellect or our prurient interests or whatever in between. I'd like to welcome my fellow podcasters here, my fellow moderators, E, Big J, and our legal luminary, the OG, and a special guest who has joined us also from episode 3, the Big M, another legal luminary who also has prurient interests or prurient proclivities aside from his intellectual. Aside to his intellectual, we're going to be talking about something that is very close to my heart personally, something that I grew up on, something that I have pretty much based also, how I lead my life. Mm-hmm. And to a certain extent, right? And we're talking about Star Wars, right? Right. Call it lame, but everybody has got something to say, whether it's good or bad. They have their opinion about Star Wars. So we're going to be talking about Star Wars, and we're going to be asking our fellow podcasters and our special guests for this evening, which among the, how many have there been? 10?
9.
No, I mean, if you want to include the
Rogue One.
11 with
11. Han Solo.
And then Han Solo was fucking lame, dude. I was fucking disappointed.
I liked it.
You liked it? You liked
Si
it?
Big J. Actually, si Big J, tuwan-tuwa siya sa Rogue One.
I love Rogue One, dude.
Actually, it's more than 11. There's an Ewok movie.
Oh, yeah.
The Christmas fucking special, right?
Special.
Yeah. No, it's different. It's another movie. The
So
Christmas
they're
special,
12.
There's a
Maybe
Ewok
13.
movie.
So there's 13. Okay. All right. There's the Ewok. That's right. There's the Ewok movie.
Adventure.
Adventure, and then there was the Christmas special.
Yes.
Where Chewbacca got lost and had to spend, had to look for his family, right? His family was missing him, something like that. We were kids then, right? Okay. Let's start with our special guest for this evening. Thanks again, Em, for joining us again.
You're welcome.
So, anong favorite Star Wars movie?
Among all of the,
I grew up in the 70s and 80s, so obviously it was New Hope. It was episode 4.
Same.
And my favorite character when I was young was of course Luke Skywalker. But as I grew older, it's like Han Solo and Boba Fett.
All right. Let's ask the OG.
Triple OG.
Yoda was always a favorite.
Yeah, but what was your favorite movie, dude?
No. He already said New Hope.
Oh, he agreed. He agreed.
Yeah.
Of all, compared to
all,
yeah.
New Hope.
So that's
New
your
Hope.
top. Okay, can we ask him what his top 3? And let's go back. Okay, your favorite
The
was
top
A New
3
Hope.
would be the first 3.
First 3, top 3 mo. Okay.
Okay, A New Hope, Empire, and Return of the
Return
Jedi.
of the Jedi.
Same with you, Em.
Well, it's New Hope and then Empire Strikes Back. Actually, I like Rogue One better than... it would be Rogue One as number 3.
E, what is your favorite Star Wars?
Empire Strikes Back yung una ko siguro.
And your second one?
Second one, New Hope. Third, ano ba yung last? 5? Episode 6, Return of the Jedi.
Return of the
Yung top
Jedi.
3 ko.
Okay. Let's
How about
talk-
Big J? Ano bang-
Number 1, Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, pareho tayo doon.
Rogue One,
Okay.
and The New Hope.
Those are your top 3. Okay. What about your favorite character? Yeah.
Of course, everybody would say Darth Vader. So he'll be probably the number 1. Number 2, Boba Fett.
Yan, like ko naririnig sa'yo yan, Boba Fett.
Yes, of
Boba
course.
Fett was kick-ass. He was a badass motherfucker, right?
Alright.
No, he was actually.
The only thing stopping from...
But he had the least exposure, which was fucking.
And the only thing stopping everybody from...
It was the marketing prowess of George Lucas that made him so fucking popular. Actually,
From making him their favorite is that he's not a Jedi.
Yeah.
yeah, but he belonged to a race.
The Mandalorian.
Di ba sila yung may ano? Ano yung sword nila? Yung negative sword ba yun?
The black. It was the
Black Saber.
Saber.
Black Saber.
They were the nemesis of the Jedi since time immemorial. Based
Actually,
on
hindi. Yung
canon.
nemesis na Jedi are the Siths. Okay, yung basically yung Mandalorians, they're bounty hunters talaga. Yun yung race
And they
nila.
just really look cool.
And they
That's
of
it,
course, they really look cool. Ayan.
But they held their own against Jedi.
Yes, kasi warrior sila. Yun yung race nila.
And they also had like they had a tiff.
Tapos yung number 3 character na gusto ko, yung Stormtroopers.
Ayun.
Diba? So
But they had lousy aim.
Ako
Of course,
They
that's
they
part.
couldn't shoot for shit.
No, that's
ako
part of
pangatlo
their
si Slave Leia.
Ayan.
A man out of my own fucking Purian interest. Because we were just talking like the last Purian episode. Like we were talking like
grabe.
I'm sure all of us fucking like paused it and then like paused it while she was like
Ayun.
slithering next to Jabba the Hutt and then got our tissues and our lotion ready to
Yeah, watching Jabba being choked to death is amazingly sensual.
All right, we forgot to ask the OG. Yoda was your favorite Star Wars character. Who you're next to?
Boba, and then Master ni Luke.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Ako, Luke, Obi-Wan, saka Mace Windu.
Mace Windu.
Yeah.
Mace Windu. All right.
Legendary kasi yung
Because of the
sword
purple
skills
side.
Legendary.
Yeah. And he was one of the very few Jedi who used the dark side of the Force
Yes.
when in his saber battles or saber duels. My favorite when I was a kid, all right, was actually number 2. Was after A New Hope, which was The Empire Strikes Back. I mean, I thought that was awesome. I mean, that was really like the clincher of all time. And then my number 2, surprisingly, would actually be Revenge of the Sith. I really enjoyed that. I mean, I had my own, comments.
Ano gusto mo sa Revenge of the Sith? Ano yung
Well, basically,
the story, the characters,
the
introduction?
storyline and how Anakin actually transformed into Vader, like how he lost his.
Actually, parang yun yung sinasabi ni Kanye West, di ba? Nag-interview si Joe Rogan na...
it was a good movie with lousy acting.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Maganda sana yun eh. Plot,
It would have been
everything.
it would have been fucking awesome. Sans, I mean, but in fairness to Hayden Christensen, I mean, he did an okay job. I mean, he improved. I mean, you could say he improved compared to his original, like his initial performance.
Especially when he was on fire.
No, it was a really good movie with lousy acting. Yun na yun. Yun yung nagpasira sa movie na
I
yun.
love playing the game. Did you try playing Revenge of the Sith?
Actually, kasi pagdating sa mga ganyang movies, ini-ignore ko yung acting eh. Inaano ko na lang. Ini-imagine ko na okay lahat eh. Ganun na lang eh.
Well, of course.
acting isn't important. No, I think
Hindi, kasi may expectations ka eh.
exactly.
So,
Especially with the character, which is so intricately, entwined. The whole StarArs saga is actually based on the hero's journey, his fall from grace, and how he's redeemed by his son. It's one of those classic archetype hero journeys that we've studied when we were taking up English literature, right?
Yes.
And that's why
actually, Star Wars is based on The Hidden Fortress by Akira Kurosawa.
That's true. That's true.
and you could also say that it was also based on.
Seven Samurai.
7.
Aside from that,
Samurai 7.
Also like George Lucas did mention that he was also looking at The Lord of the Rings, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he did mention.
So
that
may
he was-
inspiration, Lord of the Rings.
Inspiration. 'cause
Inspiration, pero
yeah.
yung pinaka-closest na story niya talaga sa Hidden Fortress. Even the characters are similar.
Even the term Jedi, right?
Yeah.
Jedi was actually a Japanese term.
So at least alam niyo na dito mga nakikinig
Yeah, and then from
nerds na
Seven
mga kasama
Samurai,
natin.
the whole idea of creating a team, getting, special individuals to do a task.
Yeah, exactly. So you'd have like this group of.
Maganda yung story ng universe ng Star Wars. Medyo nasira lang nung itong Disney na eh.
Actually, tinanggalan nila sa canon yung mga
No,
mga
I
books.
think what they're trying to do is they want to create their own universe na probably to cater to or ponder to the
For the amusement parks and the merch.
well, they can still do it without pandering to, let's say, the newer generation, di ba? Yun yung feeling ko talaga nangyari.
So ito na tayo, darating tayo sa question yung sa last 3 episodes
for me,
na to.
the last 3 episodes
What pissed you
were
off? All right,
useless.
Big J.
Automatic na ba agad na pissed off tayo lahat sa last 3
All right,
episodes?
wait.
Hindi naman.
Alright, okay na.
basically, kung standalone movie siya, it would have been okay.
Isang movie lang, yung story ng
But
tatlong
as a
episode na yun,
sequel, but
ginawa mong isa,
Yeah,
mas katanggap-tanggap.
correct.
Parang ganun.
In
Oo.
fact, maganda yung promising yung, what's the first one? Hindi ko na nga alam eh. Anong first one
The
yan?
Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens.
Force Awakens.
Maganda yun eh, because
Yeah,
you have a
yeah.
new hero, continuing a saga, even female, it doesn't really make any difference, di ba? It's a good plot to start with.
But what about all
marami
of her fucking Jedi powers that she
Ayun na
didn't
eh.
have to
Nothing to do
fucking...
with Star Wars.
Mary Sue,
Oh,
Mary Sue.
naging
Sinasabi
Mary Sue
nila.
na siya eh. Pero
Mary
yung
Sue.
story niya actually is okay kasi may bagong Jedi na it could have been okay. Kaso naging Mary Sue eh, naging very powerful eh na
Syempre.
I don't know.
Yung sabi mo nga, mag-pander sa
kasi
feminist
magpapander
agenda, di
sa
ba?
feminist siguro na tipong they can do things na without training talagang.
We can do it better than men,
Oo.
parang ganun.
Actually, yun yung problem eh. Kasi,
So we have Kathleen Kennedy to thank for that, right?
hindi, kasi yun yung problem din eh. So for example, she became too powerful without really working hard for it.
Exactly.
It doesn't send the right
It-
message eh.
It doesn't. It just came naturally. It just
Diba?
came
So,
naturally. without-
pwedeng, wari, ikaw, dahil, I don't know, female ka or whatever you are,
Whatever.
there's an assumption na magaling ka. Hindi pwede yun. Di ba? Kailangan mo rin paghirapan. Di ba?
So, kung woke speak, pwede mong sabihin na female privilege.
Well,
Nangyari sa kanya.
yeah, I think so.
all due respect to the female
you know,
listeners. We're not. I mean,
Baka
we're not
hindi-
raining on your parade, all right?
Hindi. I don't know. Wala akong ano na to rain there, whatever. Pero I think ang pinaka-lesson dyan is kung if you want something, hindi mo makukuha yan ng pinanganak ka lang ng ganun. Unless anak ka siguro ni Bill Gates, di ba?
Kahit na, I mean, like my opinion on that, for example, like even the chosen one himself. All right, Anakin Skywalker, who had like all of the potential, still had to train.
Yes.
Now, what I'm trying to say is may challenges ka pa rin. Even if you're the
Exactly.
richest person in the world, and may challenges ka pa rin na dapat i-face so that you can achieve yung gusto mo. Unless na, well, siguro, kung okay ka na sa lagay mo, di okay ka na. Di ba? Ba't
Pero
ka
dun
naging
sa
Jedi?
animation ng Clone Wars na series na ginawa ng di ba? Pinakita nila yung kung paano na-develop yung powers ni Anakin Skywalker.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
How
sa
he actually
sa Clone Wars. Kumbaga, paano siya naging very good general, di ba? Paano
Yeah,
siya
exactly. And how he was a great pilot, and how he
Even
and how
yung
he was.
scar niya sa mata, pinakita doon sa sa Clone Wars eh. Paano niya nakuha?
It was Ventress, right, that caused that scar.
Asajj Ventress.
Asajj Ventress, right?
Si Ventress.
It was Asajj
Si Ventress.
Yeah. For those of you who aren't like total Star Wars fanboys, Asajj Ventress was one of the apprentices of Count Dooku.
Yes.
All right. Count Dooku
Pero alam
apparently.
niyo, may apprentice din si Anakin.
Yeah.
Si
Ahsoka.
Tano.
Si Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah, Ahsoka Tano.
In fact, isa siya sa mga survivors ng
She's gonna be on The Mandalorian tomorrow. That's how they're actually gonna start streaming
That's great.
it.
That's great.
Nandun siya actually sa buhay pa siya eh.
And you know who's playing Ahsoka Tano?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't know? Do you know? Do you know who's playing Ahsoka Tano?
No.
Really?
No.
How can you not know? Okay. Who was that chick? All right, I can't remember her name
So
right now.
you also don't know.
No, I do. She played across Will Smith. She was also the mother of
I sense a weakening in the force.
Alexander. She played the mother of Alexander the Great. She played
Will
across Will Smith in
Rosario Dawson?
Rosario Dawson is now the new Ahsoka Tano.
She's
Okay.
also the voice for Wonder Woman in the DC animated.
That's right. That's
universe.
right.
Justice League Unlimited. Yeah.
Just as an aside,
Would you bang? Would you bang Rosario Dawson?
Yeah, probably until she died of dehydration. But anyway, the Clone Wars has a really good board game called Queen's Gambit. It came out from Hasbro, and it has a 3D board, and you fight on three different
Levels.
battlegrounds. No,
Oh.
you
Like
you
4D
play
chess.
kind of.
You remember 4D chess?
I remember
you-
4D chess.
You play Anakin going to the Death Star. You play Queen Amidala versus the droid army, and you also play Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Maul.
That's awesome. And it's a board game.
Yeah. It's already out of print. And
But you-
it's
but-
rare.
but you-
Yeah, I have a copy.
That's amazing. There you go. So you can lend it to to my.
Because my batchmate is a gamer. Only not with computers.
Ayun.
It's actual game. Board game, D&D.
Sex game.
We used to D&D.
You used to D&D?
Ayun, we
D&D.
used to do.
Ito na lang. Sino yung worst character sa Star Wars?
Worst character.
Jar Jar!
Yeah,
Jar Jar.
it's Jar Jar.
Jar Jar.
Ikaw, bro, H.
Hands down, Jar Jar.
Talaga eh.
Yeah, I mean, like, among all of the
Characters,
character, yeah, I mean, he was fucking annoying. I mean, he really was. I mean, like, his voice, his
Character
voice
is
alone.
useless. It's useless.
Well, actually, Jar Jar actually had some use because he was the one that voted executive powers to Senator Palpatine.
Yeah.
Because Padme Amidala was actually absent during that day.
Yep.
And
That
she
part of the
appointed.
script is
It was-
easy
it
to
was a
rewrite.
plot device.
They don't need Jar Jar for that.
No, but she appointed.
But they have to put a Jar Jar in.
Yeah. Well, Jar Jar was like the afterthought, according to George Lucas. Jar Jar was a creation to pander to the children. It was like they were like the Ewoks.
Yep,
like during
like-
our generation, we had the Ewoks. Jar Jar was supposed to be akin to the Ewoks.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he didn't have the same effect. But you have to ask the kids. I mean, the kids aren't really annoyed with Jar
But
Jar.
interestingly enough, just to go to the kids,
I
the
think they
the Lego sets of Star Wars, their price always goes up, never goes down, regardless of how long ago they've been released. It's better than gold actually to invest in Star Wars Lego sets. I also have the Ewok Village. It's amazing.
You have to complete the Ewoks and the Death Star, and also
I have the Death Star.
and also the Hoth battle.
Yeah, I have the Hoth
That's
battle.
awesome. That's dude, bro. You're actually holding on to a fucking mine. I mean, gold mine. I mean,
no, well, I just really love the Lego sets.
okay. So who does that go to? Does that go to George Lucas or does that go to Disney, or is that a separate Lego? I mean, like the rights.
I'm
or
really
like
not
whatever.
familiar with their agreement, no? So,
Ang may hawak
Ano
ng Star Wars.
si Big J, alam yata eh.
Hasbro.
okay.
So sila yung nagla-license ng toys ng Star Wars.
Hasbro owns everything.
Okay. So let's move on to
So sino pa daw yung worst characters other than Jar Jar Binks?
the worst characters other than.
Ikaw, Big J, ano bang opinion mo? Sino may worst character para sa'yo? Worst
characters sa Star Wars?
Ray?
Si ano?
That's Ray.
Yeah. And actually yung sa hindi ko kasi alam na yung last 3 episodes, yung sa gitna na episode,
Okay.
yung Admiral something na babae.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's so paano naging Admiral to, di ba? I mean,
Wait a second. She was the one who also starred in Jurassic Park, right?
I don't know.
Yeah. What was her name? Can our
I forget.
No, I think
Can
she's
we
a good actress. But what I'm trying to say is,
Would
yung
you fuck
character
her?
niya, no.
I mean like
Quick no.
quick no. Because actually, Seth MacFarlane has a negative take on that particular actress. Like she's one of the ugliest actresses in Hollywood.
Grabe naman.
the most unfuckable actress.
Oh, God.
The most.
That's sad.
Along with who was the one that played in she was like the next Karate Kid, and then she was like in
You know why he's
Hillary.
You know why she's there? Because they cannot sacrifice Leia.
Yeah.
Yet. That's why they have to put in another character.
Ayun ba yung blue-haired?
Yes.
No,
Blue-haired beef.
but what-
Actually for me, another pandering it's a woke thing na you have
Kailangan
a
ng,
female admiral.
Meron ka lang Leia, meron ka pang Rey. Gusto ko ba isa pang babae?
Yeah, if you watch yung second
bidang
episode
babae
na-
na
Ang second
mag-suicide, di ba?
Hindi, if you
Tama.
watch yung
Sa
second
boss.
episode
That's pandering na kasi meron ka ng Leia, meron ka pang Rey, tapos nagdagay ka pa ng isa pang babae.
pandering, ano talaga yun?
Ayun
Yung-
lang.
Hindi, ang point is,
Puro babae.
Ang point is, merong white liberal to save to save humankind.
Yeah.
Pero
Because we need more of them.
Yung annoying talaga doon is that you could hyperspace attack.
Correct.
One vessel with another vessel. That's stupid. Why didn't you do that to the Death Star?
Way
If you
back,
could do
right? They
that.
should have fucking done that.
Why did you need to even fire a fucking
And then
torpedo down there?
why in the final episode they started
Absurd.
light
It's
speed
absurd.
skipping?
It's
Remember?
And still
And still
going
they were-
back,
It's
and
absurd.
still going back, why do they need
I
to
hated that.
Why do they need to hire a smuggler to trace the designer of the Death Star and to get the blueprints
Parang ano
for
yun
the
eh.
weakness.
Parang pandagdag na lang yan. Filler.
Hindi na tayo
Plot
matatapos
filler
kung
yan
yun
eh.
ang pag-uusapan natin.
Hindi, ang second episode
Let's
niya
all
hindi ko
just-
Benicio
na
del
maalala.
Toro's
Alien
role was
forces.
also pretty much like useless.
Hindi, yan. Pero basically, yung second episode na yun sa new series, hindi siya worst. For me, it's the worst Star Wars movie. Pero for me, hindi lang siya worst Star Wars movie.
It's one of the worst movies ever.
Hindi, totoo. Napaka-pangit ng pelikula. I'm sorry to say that, pero...
Ayun.
In hindsight, or I mean, did you feel that while you were watching, or was it, or did this opinion?
Yeah, of course,
arise
doon ka
in-
na eh. Kasi you're a Star Wars fan, gusto mo na yung
And then you were
malaman.
excited. You like,
No, not excited, but gusto mo lang I mean, yung conclusion kung ano mangyari. But sa kakapanood no, gusto mong umalis eh.
Yun lang. Yeah, I'm surprised, killer robots from the future didn't go back and kill the director. I'm still waiting for it to happen.
What about you? What about you, OG? Who was your least favorite or your most hated Star Wars character?
Jar Jar nga eh. Do we have to go
Aside
back
from
to Jar Jar?
aside from that, okay. What about you? What about you? Aside
Yeah,
from Jar Jar, is there any
aside from Jar
any other
Jar-
particular character that?
Yeah, exactly. Jar
Deserves
Jar,
your
then
wrath.
there was that Admiral. I don't know. I mean, those two are, like black holes sucking in all the lights.
You know, all right.
Mga useless characters.
Exactly.
Here's this is my take. I wouldn't particularly place this character as the most hated or useless, but I would consider him the most underdeveloped.
Sino?
Fucking Snoke. Right? I mean, like, there's so
yeah,
much. I mean,
yeah,
everybody
yeah.
was building up who the
Yeah,
fuck was
yeah,
Snoke,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
and then
suddenly he's dead.
he's dead. And then
he's dead.
and then the third reason, he was merely a creation of the Emperor. I mean, that was just a save. I mean, that was literally, that was literally
Tapos malaman may clone
They're-
pala siya.
they're gonna
Clone
come out
pala
with
siya.
And then the clone,
and,
right?
and if you go back, you watch the teasers, it's always there. Like, they're like
Yeah.
building up the character and then suddenly he's there and then suddenly he's dead.
I think the sad thing is he had such a lousy name, it's just not villainous, Snoke. What the fuck is that?
That's right. There's nothing scary about him.
Actually, yung itong ano talaga, itong...
Well, if you think about it, Palpatine. I mean, that isn't pretty scary as well. Man. The Emperor, yeah, but
It's
Palpatine.
still better than Snoke.
But if you're passing yourself off as a harmless
Senator.
non-Sith
Yeah, yeah,
character, then Palpatine would make sense.
Exactly.
Hindi, pero yung itong last 3 episodes na to, talagang it doesn't make sense eh. Yung fact lang na may, first order ba yun? Ano yun?
Okay, first
So,
order.
sila
Yeah, what the
first
fuck?
order,
What the
ano
fuck
yan?
is the first order? I mean, it's only destroyed the whole legacy of the first 6.
Correct.
Yes.
Kasi,
I mean, it totally destroyed everything. I mean,
paano ka
everyone-
magkaroon ng first order, then you're still gonna have rebels, di ba? Isn't it na yung
Well,
rebels
No,
na
they
nalo?
weren't rebels. They were resistance.
Hindi, hindi.
Hindi nga mali eh. Mali yung parang bumaliktad,
Mali,
di ba?
Kasi for example, yung may Empire, may rebels.
Yep.
Supposedly, nanalo na yung rebels.
So dapat sila na yung Empire.
Sila na yung Empire or sila yung Republic, whatever.
Oo.
Ano naman tong first order?
Ano siya, networking.
Yeah, I think so. It's one of these...
Daming sumali kasi
talagang
may sa kape.
yeah, marami.
Parang yung kaibigan natin na, what's that networking?
Yun na lang.
Before we mention Pekanaman dyan.
Pa-sponsor naman daw dyan.
Pekanaman, pwede tayo magpa-sponsor. So, bago namin
Ano yun? Best friend nung producer natin.
Ah, really? Oh,
Ayun, pa-sponsor
Mr.
sa first
Producer,
order.
Pekanaman. They sound like the first order too, right?
Ayun, the first order.
First order, right? That's similar to the name,
Yes, yes.
right? Yeah. Well, anyways, okay. Moving forward, did you guys catch the Kanye West interview with Joe Rogan? And he actually agreed with pretty much what everybody else is saying, that the last 3 episodes were fucking bad, and it didn't give props. Yeah,
Hassle talaga itong
It
last
was
3
hassle,
episodes. To sino. In fact, yung last episode, di ko na nga pinanood eh. To be honest.
But Rogue One was pretty awesome.
Rogue
It-
One.
Yeah.
Rogue One, I mean, like, because it tied the whole thing together.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love that scene with Darth Vader
Actually,
fucking kicking ass.
Actually, yung
That was
Rogue
fucking
One,
awesome.
yung Rogue One, even itong Mandalorian, kasi they're trying to, they're
Make
trying
up.
to make up for the
Then
mistakes.
make up for the faux pas.
Yeah, I love the Mandalorian. That's really amazing.
Yeah. So, parang inaayos na nila.
The only problem with Rogue One is that scene at the end where Darth Vader is watching Princess Leia escape, and then in New Hope, diba, it starts off, he catches her. Then he says, "What are you doing here?" And she's like, "I was on a diplomatic mission." He should have bitch slapped her and said, "Bullshit, I just watched you escape a while ago." I was watching you!
Actually,
I had my eyes on you!
Yeah, that's right.
No,
that's
no,
right.
no,
But he actually caught up with them. So that's why he saw them and then he caught up. Remember the scene in A New Hope? He caught up with them.
Yeah, but
eventually.
why would she say, "I was on a diplomatic mission"? Bullshit!
Bullshit! I was just trying to. You guys were escaping from me. You stole the goddamn records. That's right. That's right.
Hindi, mali.
No,
Why?
no.
Hindi naman nakita ni Darth Vader, nandun si Leia eh.
But he saw the same ship. It was the same ship.
Yeah, the Hammerhead Cruiser.
Yeah, it was the same. It was the same. It was the same Corellian thing.
Yeah, no, I get it. Pero hindi niya naman nakita si Leia sa loob.
Baka mamaya,
And she was a senator.
maski anong
and
Corolla
senator-
lang yan eh, di ba? Ibang Corolla yun, ibang Corolla. Kita sa Corolla eh.
Ibang hammerhead.
Pero come to think of it, it's actually politically correct. Kasi, she's a senator.
Senator, yeah, that's true.
She's on a diplomatic mission
Yes.
from
So
Alderaan.
if
still,
you
you
are
are saying
diplomatic mission, it's just diplomatic immunity.
Yeah, that's right.
But they were leaving an imperial, facility. It's like, dude, what are you doing here?
Hindi, pero okay yung Rogue One yan. As in, one of the better
So,
Star Wars.
hindi, yung last natin, bago tayo mag-wrap up. Yung sinasabi ni Bro H, no? Yung sa Han Solo na movie. Ano bang, bakit ka napangitan doon? Sabi mo kanina, medyo hate na hate mo.
I didn't hate it, but
Hindi mo sa gusto.
it was boring. I mean, I fell asleep. I literally fell asleep in the middle of the movie. I fell asleep in the middle of the movie. I don't know. I mean, but then I was able to watch it afterwards, and I was like, okay, I appreciated it, but it really kind of sucked.
Personally, I hated the movie the same as I hated the first three.
The last three.
No. Yung first episode 1, 2, and 3. Kumbaga, they have good
because of the acting.
Yeah. Ang pangit eh. Kumbaga, ang babadoy nila eh.
Not the story, not the storyline, not the movie itself.
So,
but
ito yung
the
tinatawag
actors.
ni Big J na cash grab. Parang ganun, di ba?
Well,
Cash
of
grab
course,
movie.
cash grab yun. And they're trying also to be woke,
milking.
di ba? Ginawa nilang metrosexual daw tong sila ng police yan, di ba? Parang,
He's so Lando.
for me kasi, yung mga ganyan, if you want to insert, why don't you just create a new character, di ba?
Why do you have to like foist upon your beloved old characters who you know?
Hindi, parang ito kasi yung ano natin eh, Hollywood ngayon eh, aggressively banal eh. Di ba? In a sense na lacking originality talaga ngayon yung mga
hindi
movies
ako
eh.
gano'n dyan. Bahala na sila dyan. Pero anyway, yun yung point ko lang na yung ngayon sabi ni Stan Lee eh. For example, bakit daw kailangan gawing ganito si ganyan? Pero sabi ni Stan Lee, it's so easy to create a new one. Bakit kailangan mo i-change yung character na alam mo na? Di ba? For example, yung Spider-Man ngayon, di ba? Ako, gusto ko itong bagong Mary Jane, for example. Sino to? Si
Zendaya.
Maganda,
Zendaya,
di ba?
You'd fuck her.
But of course. Pero ang point dito is, si Mary
With
Jane kasi,
webbing.
pag binabasa mo sa comics,
She's a redhead.
she's a redhead, di ba? So
model.
yun yung ano mo.
Trabaho niya, model.
Correct. That's why,
Back from the times when everyone was a Caucasian in the comics.
yeah, okay
Yeah.
lang yun. Yun na yun eh.
So model siya. Redhead
Yes,
siya.
redhead. Again, a good
Tapos
example
meron
is,
kang Mary Jane na
Kung redhead,
black
so
and,
Irish.
well, probably, I don't care. Pero,
ano bang black yata mix to si
Mixed,
Zendaya.
yeah, mixed.
And a nerd.
okay lang. I mean, kumbaga, for example, itong bagong character sa Spider-Man, si Miles Morales. I really like that guy.
Si
Cool
Miles
eh.
Morales.
Into the Spider-Verse. We're talking about Into the
Yeah,
Spider-Verse.
oh.
Parallel universe naman, di ba?
Correct. So,
Hindi naman siya
ganun
for
easy
one.
to create a new one.
Okay.
Ganun din sa Star Wars, di ba? Pagbalik mo dun sa Star Wars.
Transitioning from Star Wars to Marvel, right?
Hindi. I mean, pagdating mo sa Star Wars, you can easily create a new character.
Sa next episodes natin, Marvel naman ang...
No, actually,
pag-usapan natin.
actually, we've already transitioned, so we might as well talk about the Marvel comic characters who are fuckable.
Ayan, pwede.
Right. All right.
Well, pupunta na naman tayo doon.
Anyway, we're actually. I mean, this would be a great segue to our next topic.
Yung mga sexy
Exactly,
na mga
exactly.
Marvel characters.
Meron bang Marvel character na hindi sexy?
Yun.
That's true.
Hindi, binago na nila lately.
Who are like the hottest Marvel characters? Like, who would you want? Who would you jack off to?
Basta naalala ko, pinapadrawing sa akin ni M.
Ngayon.
Yun.
Or was, I think it was Rogue twice.
Rogue,
and,
Tama
basta
yun.
sa
Lahat-
X-Men.
lahat-
But-
Drain
but-
your
but-
powers.
X-Men.
Drain your powers.
De, lahat ng
X-Men.
comic characters na babae noon, at least the 90s. Talagang sexy talaga yun.
Si Rogue.
Lahat.
All of them. You'd fuck all of them. All of the Marvel. Even Captain Marvel.
Even yung mga mascot-like characters like Jubilee,
Squirrel Girl.
Squirrel Girl.
Squirrel Girl.
And it
Beat
turned out,
Thanos, ha? Beat Thanos.
and it turned out yung Squirrel Girl is one of the more powerful characters.
Wait a second.
sa
Isn't there
Marvel.
like a Filipino Marvel character that
Meron
was-
sila
Yeah,
ginawa.
yeah,
Si Wave. Si Wave.
Wave.
is she hot? Is she fuckable?
Comics eh.
Huh?
Comics eh.
Wait, can we like get a picture of her? Like, what does she look like? What does Wave look like? Does she? I mean, does her character
So ito na,
do justice?
binabiolate na natin yung mga karakter.
Ayun.
Taga saan? Taga Tondo? Taga Magallanes? Saan?
Matangos yung ilong.
She has a
hindi ko
big
alam.
double-
Mistisa, mistisahin.
That big W on her chest doesn't look like Wonder Woman at all.
Ilongga ba siya? Ano ba siya? Ilocana?
Para siyang Marvel na biniligtad eh. Yung may W niya eh.
Cebuana.
Pangalan niya si Pearl Pangan.
Ayun.
Pearl
Pangan.
Pearl Pangan.
Parang
Earth
si
616.
Yun.
Si Pearl Pangan ay
anak
pakantot.
ni Chiquito
Ayun.
Pangan. Pangan din yung apelido ng Chiquito.
Ayun.
So, siguro si Pearl Pangan, they would probably be like the childhood desires or childhood fantasies
Ayun.
Yes, parang yung last episode na pinag-usapan natin yung mga stars.
all right.
Oo.
And transitioning back to that, because I think we weren't giving it,
Hindi masyadong complete
it
yung
wasn't complete.
oo.
And there were some comments about, we forgot to mention a lot of sexy or you know,
Nakalimutan daw natin si Shiboom Girl. Yun, ng San Miguel. Si
Kokak.
Kokak ba? Si Rachel Lubanco? O
Ay,
Lani Lubanco yung Kokak?
No, Kokak si Rachel Lubanco, she was
Yun. Yun.
shiboom, shiboom, yada da 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 da.
Winning.
All right,
Yun,
so but this time let's try and be more structured
Yes.
when we try and classify our childhood fantasies. All right, so starting from the 1980s. All right, we're gonna go around the table and we're gonna ask all of the panelists who their favorite sexy and porn stars were of the 1980s. This may be local and international, okay?
Yes.
But they have to have flourished. I mean, it doesn't matter whether or not they were still popular in the following decades, but their career should have started and should have flourished in this particular decade. So let's start with our guest panelist. From the 80s.
Well, for the 80s,
House of M.
for me, it had to be si Techi Agbayani.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, and well, she just has that certain something. She's like a spicy tamale.
Yun.
She could eat all day long. Yeah. She just has that look. It's very unique.
Teche Agbayani.
I see your Teche
Winning.
Agbayani and
Di ba meron pa siyang di ba yung may meron pa siyang porn scene with George Stregan? Wala.
I'm not sure.
Yung Teche Agbayani. Parang,
I will
Na-research
raise
ko yun.
She actually posed for European
the
yeah.
first Filipina.
who are these the soft drinks collection like
Lillet?
No.
Lillet na
No,
Coca-Cola.
there's a lot of them. They're all
Si-
named after soft drinks.
Sarsi Manuel, Pepsi
Sarsi,
Paloma.
Yan.
Pero ako 80s Maria Isabel Lopez ako. Maria Isabel Lopez ako.
Yan yung may George Stregan yata.
Para sa akin.
Meron pang Maureen Mauricio. Ano? You remember her, Maureen?
Yan. Marin.
80s ba?
Yung mga nababasa natin sa Abante Tonight.
Ayun.
Ito na yung tik-tik yata
Ayun.
yun.
Hindi, Abante.
Abante yun. When we were kids, I mean, it was Abante and the Zerex Xavier.
Serek Xavier.
And the pictures of all these hot
Yung isa
stars.
may isa pa, dalawa yan sila na sikat eh. Serek Xaviera tsaka si Andromeda ba yun? Tanda mo ba yun? Na parang yung mga porn stories na
This is the funniest thing. You guys know this person, but I have a relative.
Okay.
He has this. You know what he does? He buys all like the Abante and Tic Tics like before, and he'd make cutouts and he'd make a scrapbook.
Oh.
and put them all together. And I'd be like, what the fuck? All right, whatever floats your boat. But anyways,
Yun.
so
Si OG, sino favorite mo?
for the 80s,
Nirace ko na nga yung
Sino? Sir
Tetsi
Manuel
Bayani
Tetsi Bayani ka rin.
ng mga
Sina
soft
Pepsi
drink
Paloma.
beauties eh.
Yun.
Ilan pa ba yung gusto mo?
So
Ang
Pepsi,
dami
Paloma,
nun.
and Sarsi Manuel para kay
Meron
OG,
pa,
Triple OG.
do we have
Yan.
pictures? Like, can we show our listeners like who these people actually were? Okay, let's get a
dami
picture
yan.
of Techi and
Coca
then
Nicolas.
Tetsi, Agbayani,
Coca Nicolas,
Pangalan
Pepsi
yan, no?
Paloma.
si Paloma, Maria Isabel Lopez. Si Big J, ano bang mo sa 80s?
80s.
80s, sino yung pinaka hot para sa'yo? Hot, sexy.
Si Vivian Velez.
Oh,
Ayun.
kalimutan natin yung tama.
Oh my
Vivian
God, we
Velez.
forgot about Vivian Velez
That's
and
true,
her
that's
and her
true.
fucking X-rated.
Yep,
Yung sex tape niya with
Betamax.
congressman ba yun? Congressman ba yun?
Si Farinas.
Boom.
Masarap ang ginagawa nilang yung
Parinyas na empanada.
Ayun, empanada.
Di ba si Vivian Velez, dinali rin yun ni Bong Alvarez. Di ba?
That's right. No,
Big J.
He married her.
Ah, ganun. Oh.
Good job.
He married her, and then his brother-in-law was like, you
Ay,
probably know,
ikaw,
Oh.
sino yung sa'yo?
Oh, 80s mo.
Oh.
Bro H. Sinong choice mo?
When I first arrived in the Philippines, was
okay.
that was in 1986. It was Alma Moreno.
Ayun.
Loveliness.
Boom.
You remember that show?
Solid din, solid din.
Hagis sa
Solid din, oh.
Yeah, she was in that tango, right?
May bigote pa si Alma Moreno
Ayun.
nun.
And it was funny, like in later life, I actually got to meet her personally, and I'm like,
Winner yan si Alma Moreno.
yeah, okay. And who else? It
Okay, so
Pero
second
bro,
round.
ito lang.
So, second round.
Last lang, bago ano. Pero, kasi kung pwede mo rin isipin si Vilma Santos noong time na yun, super sexy rin.
Oh, hindi, kaya
That's
let's
right.
go there.
80s.
So second round.
Sharon's
Reverse order.
Yeah.
Ikaw yung last na nag-pick. Si
It was
Alma
Alma,
Moreno.
Alma.
Okay, pick another one. Sino yung sunod
90s
mo?
90s na yan.
Hindi,
90s.
80s pa rin.
80s pa rin.
Second round.
It would have to be Carmi Martin. Like I mentioned before.
Carlo Martin, solid. Ako yung kasama niya, si Maputi. Sino yan?
Si Roderick Paulate.
Nangyari tayo dyan!
Kasama yun!
No homo.
Panalo.
Wait, hindi ako muna.
Sino yan? Si Lisa Lindogan ba yun?
Hindi
Sino
ako
yung
muna.
kasama niya?
Second
Puti.
round. Let's reverse the order. Second round.
So, Carmi Martin nga raw si
Oh,
Bro
ako
H. Ikaw?
na. Oh, ako?
Sino ka?
Si Lorna Tolentino. bro.
Woo!
Tingnan nyo yung picture niya nung
O
80s.
sige, di ako Vilma Santos na.
Okay, Vilma Santos.
Ikaw,
O ikaw,
OG.
triple OG.
Second round of 80s hot teas. The sex sirens that you used to tip your hat off to.
Ikaw.
He refused to incriminate
Kelly
himself.
Brook. Kelly Brook.
Some Lady in Red, you know, and
Weird
Weird Science.
Yeah,
Oh.
weird science.
Who jacked off the Chet?
Ayun, grabe.
Amy Austria.
Okay, so ikaw, Brother M. Last pick for the 80s.
For the 80s, well, I have to agree with Carmi Martin. Carmi Martin, solid.
Solid, man. Solid choice.
But I loved her show. with
Dick.
With the dancing.
Dick and Carmi.
Ayun, in Carmi.
Dick and Carmi.
Kaso perpetually disqualified yata si ano.
Because of his... si Konsihal.
Naka-MR ba? Di ko alam.
Imagine, biro mo ex niya din si yung anak ni
Ayun.
former Senator Butsarin.
Ayun. 90s daw.
Okay, moving forward. All right, moving on towards the 90s. Famous, sexy porn stars. I'm not sure. Was it Kring Kring Gonzalez or
Ayun.
Christina Gonzalez? Was
Ayun.
she part of the?
90s, the
Was she
TF
part of the 90s,
yeah.
right?
The ST movement. The ST movement.
How about you, Big J?
Si Isabel Granada.
Ayun.
Yun.
But she wasn't a sexy. Was
May
she?
she rest in peace.
Yeah, but
Is she dead?
yeah,
really?
She,
Patay na,
she
patay
had
na.
some kind of aneurysm.
She died in
yata.
Singapore.
She died of an aneurysm.
Yes.
Sa
No, I
Singapore
think
ba?
she was
Hindi ba
sick
sa
for-
Dubai?
I don't think
Or
she's a
Dubai or
sexy star.
somewhere.
I don't think she's a sexy star.
But you-
Gandang-ganda ako sa
No,
kanya.
but-
And you, in other words, he slapped his salami towards her several times. I mean, there are. What about Pia
Ako, Gretchen Barreto ako, 90s. 90s talaga. Doon ako unang namulat.
Her birthmark on her arm didn't turn you off, though?
Nope.
And from her moving from one guy to the next didn't turn you off either?
Well, bata ako, hindi ko iniisip yung mga ganun.
Basta makatot mo siya, okay na.
Oo, ganun.
What about you, OG?
I would have to agree with Cristina Gonzalez.
Ayun.
Yun.
Solid.
Mami Kring Kring.
What about her sister, Anna Margarita?
Yun.
Cristina Gonzalez.
Yeah, I mean, she just had that X factor, je ne sais quoi. That je ne sais quoi that you just had to jack off to. Right? It's like, White Castle whiskey. her fucking medium-sized boobs popping up and down. Oh, wait a second, she's the wife of Congressman. Thank God we're anonymous.
Yun lang.
All right.
Ako, I really like Cheryl Cruz back in the day. She had this yung
That's entertainment days niya.
Naka-swimsuit siya sa Abante.
Yun.
Mr. Dream Boy,
Ayun.
Mr. Dream Boy.
Cheryl Cruz.
That was her song, right? That was her song, right? Cheryl Cruz.
Si ano ba kung makonsider?
Christina Paner. Yung mga barkada niya. Si Manilyn Reynes, saka si Christina Paner. Sino may gusto doon? Wala. Wala. Dance. But you know, Manilyn Reynes actually she had her own variety show for a while. Yeah, and she was, I mean, like, she was short and stocky, but she had a nice butt. That's the one thing, but she had a nice butt. I mean, she was, right? But she had a nice, that was her one redeeming quality. Aside for her, she could sing. All right, moving forward, round 2 for the 90s. Big J.
Si Rica Paralejo.
Boom. Yun.
Balahibong Pusa.
Yan.
Yan ang kanyang launching pelikula, di ba? Hindi ba Balahibong Pusa?
Actually bro, si Rica Paralejo, may first and second. No second, bigla na lang naging sexy masyado, di ba?
Yung malaki na yung boobs na bigla.
May boobs. Di ba? Yun yung Rica Paralejo na
Gusto mo?
sexy lang.
Gusto mo? Ako, Jessa Saragosa.
Pero hindi ba medyo dark yung kanyang areola?
Yun!
Hindi mo napansin yun?
So?
It
It doesn't matter. I mean,
Hindi naman ako choosy pagdating sa ganyan eh.
You're not?
pag nakapatay daw ilaw hindi mo naman kita.
Total, pop material lang naman eh, di ba?
Ayun.
Di naman actual
Is
na.
that something you had to actually deal with on a daily basis?
Yeah.
Because if it was that situation, you'd be very particular.
Of course.
Knowing E, he's very particular. What about the OG, right? Let's move on to your second pick.
Sino tong dating nasa That's Entertainment?
All of them used to be on That's Entertainment.
Kaya nga, di ba?
Nga yung problema.
Sino? Lot de Leon.
Ayun.
Wala. Anong pangalan niya?
Sino doon? Ang dami nila eh. Matangkad ba? Rufa? Si Rufa nandun pa nun.
Yan.
Si Donita Rose. Hot din yun si Donita Rose
Hot
eh.
yun, pero
Si
hindi
G. Tonji.
Nakita ko na sa personal dati yun eh.
Si G. Tonji daw.
Yun.
G. Tonji was hot. She was actually hot. She didn't have a really nice body, but there was something about her face.
Yeah.
She had like this blowjob face.
Yeah.
She's really good at giving blowjobs. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yo.
No, seriously. I mean, like, she had this, like, oh my god, I want to fuck you so bad
Ayun.
face. Like fuckable face. Is that what you
Parang
call
slurp
Ay.
face.
it? ASMR.
Ayun, grabe.
Mukhang may alam sa harto.
Yun lang. But for me,
Obi-Wan has taught me well.
for me, yung
porn
ano pa rin
Padawan
eh.
of E.
Sa international yung gusto ko talaga si Jennifer Connelly.
Fuck yeah!
There was a
High
writer.
five on that. High five on fucking Jennifer Connelly.
There was a writer who said that if sex was a human being, it would be Jennifer Connelly, and I absolutely agree with that.
She was like 13 on Labyrinth, and I wanted to fucking bang her fucking ass off. No, seriously. I mean, remember
But you
that
were 13 also then, right? Just to be safe.
I was younger. I was
Yeah,
younger.
yeah,
I was like
right.
10. I think I was 10.
Paul Bettany is a
Okay.
lucky guy.
Paul Bettany, was he there?
No, he's the husband.
In Labyrinth?
Hindi, asawa niya.
Paul
asawa niya.
Bettany is Jennifer Connelly's husband? Okay, I thought Paul Bettany was in fucking Labyrinth. It was David Bowie, right?
David Bowie with like half his dick showing.
But bros, what was that movie that starred Jennifer Connelly in an R-rated movie and all she did was ride a fucking horse?
Bull.
No, was it a bull? It was like a mechanical bull, and she was like riding this mechanical bull. Can we like look for that scene so we could show
Jennifer
like
Connelly, yeah.
Jennifer, like-
pakita na ng producer natin yan.
yeah,
sa-
our producer will try and find that particular scene because that was one of the like it didn't show tits, it didn't show ass, but it just showed her fucking rocking back and forth with her facial expression.
Boom.
And
Wasn't that Requiem for a Dream?
I wouldn't know. I mean, that sounds too cerebral for a movie like that. I mean,
That was about drug addiction, but there's a scene in it where she does a strip party or something, and this guy starts shouting, you know, you should go end to end.
You know who else was really surprisingly hot moving forward? Oh, this is it.
Yun.
Yeah. Papakita po ng producers natin yan sa YouTube video
The
natin.
gif that I could watch
Para
all day.
makita nyo lang na
She
kung
had, like,
anong
the boobs and
dinidescribe nito
everything,
ni
like, perfect body.
Bro H. Ayan. Yeah.
And another hot scene, like, you remember
Liv Tyler, di mo ba na pinagdanahan?
she was
sa
hot
si
too,
Liv
yeah,
Tyler?
Liv Tyler. And what's her name? Padme Amidala. In this one scene where she did a striptease and she was wearing like this.
Yeah.
But that was in the 2000s. We're moving.
Yeah.
We're moving ahead of ourselves. We've done already the rounds for the 90s,
Swan ba
right?
yan?
Si Big J, may kulang pa. 90s. Isa pa lang yung sinasabi niya. Ha?
Wala akong maisip for now. Pero I'm
90s.
sure marami.
So, ikaw binanggit mo, si Rica Paralejo sa 90s mo. Si Aramina ba? 90s si Aramina?
Aramina, yeah, she was a late 90s. She started
Late
her
90s, yeah.
career started in the late.
Ano, nahatan ka ba kay Aramina? Para sa'yo?
Sa Ramina. Oo naman. Until now.
Yun.
She's hot and she has the face of an angel.
Aramina. Okay.
Oh, what's her face? Clueless, Alicia Silverstone.
Yun.
Alicia Silverstone.
Alicia Silverstone. It's Clueless.
Clueless na talaga yun.
I remember you were mentioning also this dark-skinned Filipina ST star.
Si...
Her name was Aya Medel.
Yun, laki ng boobs nun. Winning din
She
yan.
Pila
was
Balde,
hot.
Pila Balde.
Yun, Pila Balde.
The movie, that's the movie.
Right?
Ano ba, fake ba yung boobs nun o natural?
Totoo.
Nati ba siya?
Yeah, I mean,
Papaya.
she
Actually bro, kaya Aya
Congressman Mike
Midel yun.
Arroyo actually dated her for a while.
Kaya Aya Midel yun. Dahil Papaya Midel yun.
Ayun.
There you
Papaya.
fucking go.
Panalo, sir.
Alright.
Kaya Aya, so Aya short for papaya.
Ayun.
Yun.
Yep.
So mga malamang mga LGBTQ na mga managers yung nagpangalan yan. Ganun pa sa mga ganun pakulo, alam mo na natin di ba?
Ako hanggang 90s na ako kasi ayoko na mag-isip sa 2000 eh.
2000s,
Wala akong maisip eh.
parang info overload na yun.
Madami eh.
Masyado pa na kasi maraming...
Ako si Angela Velez.
Angela, panalo. si
Panalo
Angela
yun,
Velez.
sir.
Totoo yun, agree ako dun.
I think she married an Israeli businessman.
Ganda ng katawan, grabe.
Yeah,
parang tapos
panalo.
chinita.
The models
Chinita look,
for,
Angela Velez. Pero yung boobs niya, di yata na...
Hindi ganun ka.
Di natural yung boobs niya. Yung Angela Velez.
The models
Tinan mo,
for the
tinan mo bro J. Tinan mo, Angela Velez. Hot
yeah,
din.
she was hot, yeah. Reminiscent of Joyce
Ang
Jimenez.
dami yun kasi.
Yun, Joyce Jimenez ba? 90s ba si Joyce
We are-
Jimenez?
yeah,
Madami nung time
Along
na
with
yun.
Ang dami yan kasi may FH yan eh.
Yeah, because this was actually the boom of the FHM and then the condom company.
Yeah,
Trust.
yeah.
No.
Ano yun?
They had these series and then they had these models of that came out
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the 2000s. The first.
Hindi, ito tama. Ito na yung yung mga Viva Hot Babes.
Yeah,
Ano
yeah,
ba yung
yeah.
2000s?
And the Viva Hot Babes.
Viva
also.
Hot Babe.
Tapos yung sino pa nila? Sina Mocha Uson, ano ba siya? 2000s
Yeah,
ba
Ganun
yan?
yan, 2000.
Mga ganyan.
Yan na yung mga mabibili mo sa DVD na mga straight to DVD na.
Boost! DBDB City Bold!
Yun, sa Green Hills. DVD City Bold, sir. Yun. Sa ano? Ako
What was that
dati.
movie theater that like you guys went to and then you were using like an MTRCB card and then like
Yun. Sa Cubao, sina Big J. Kwento niya sa akin.
I remember
Yan.
that was a
Pasig yun, sa Pasig.
Oh, anong nangyari?
Pasig,
Kwento mo.
May ano pa, may mga movie theaters pa
Oh.
sa mall.
Back in
Okay.
90s yun.
Circa 1990s pa
Late
to.
90s, late 90s.
So, bilang inspector ng MTRCB nung time na yun, anong ginawa niyo? Agent ka ng
Hindi naman
MTRCB.
inspector, may card lang ako ng ano.
Agent ka nun eh. If you have a
Agent-
card, you're an
yeah.
agent.
You're an agent. So, parang tinitingnan mo kung...
You're a deputy. You're deputized by the board. Premier.
Ayun, premier condo.
But anyway,
Oh, so ano yung kwento mo, Big J? Doon sa...
pasok ko nun sa
Oh,
movie theater. I mean, it's a normal movie. Hindi ko lang maalala kung ano. It's an English movie.
Okay.
Normal siya. Pero during the middle of the movie, nag-cut.
Oh,
Tapos bigla na naging bold.
yung palabas.
2 for 1, 2 for 1.
Sa mga probinsya, uso yun. 2 for 1. Biglang ano.
Hindi.
Oh.
Usually yung sa probinsya may
Peekaboo
double eh.
special.
Oh.
Feature. Pero this time,
Pasig to,
normal,
Pasig ah.
oo. Tapos bigla lang naputol. Yung normal movie.
Tapos lumabas na yung bold.
Yung bold, oh.
Ayun.
Siyempre, doon yun, di ba? I was just passing time. Tapos may...
Pero ikaw, nag-register ka nung time na yun na MTRCB ka, alam nung may-ari nung sinihan. Oo.
basta
Siyempre,
anyway,
nilista yan eh, di ba?
may lumapit sa akin. Tapos sabi sa akin, sir, sabi ng manager ko, sir, gusto ko lang kausapin. Tapos ako naman, kinabahan ako actually. Naglabas ko, nabutan ako ng envelope.
So, ano yan, parang suhol.
Oo, may 5,000.
So, nung una kinabahan ka, kala nahuli ka nagjajakol.
Anyway, yung 5,000 at the time, ang laki na nun. Siguro 20,000 yan ngayon.
So, malamang nagpainom ka.
Hindi, di na umabot doon. si bro H yung nagbigay sa akin ng card na yun.
I wonder how I had access to those cards back in the days. I had a friend who knew somebody.
Friend of a friend of a friend.
Yeah, a friend of a friend.
Pinento lang
You
ni
had the right connects.
The right connects.
So, siguro sa next episode natin, magandang pag-usapan yung mga adventures natin ng mga bata. Kasi nalala ko yung...
Or misadventures.
Yung mga first lessons, nalala ko yung pinanong kay Gretchen Barreto at Romnick Sarmiento. Yung mga experience nila sa massage parlors. Yun ang mga pwede natin pag-usapan next time.
Top 10 massage parlors of all time.
There you.
Mabuhay, happy.
Yan. Reserva natin yan. Mga legendary.
Mga legendary.
Kasi ngayon, may hybrid na raw na parang happy ending lang na wala nang
Oh, that's right. That's what you call the spacols.
Yan. Yan, pag-usapan natin yan. Ibigay tayo ng top 10 next time.
Tsaka how the pandemic has detrimentally affected this particular
Sector.
industry.
Yes.
If you could call it a cottage industry.
Cottage.
Cottage industry.
Baka mamaya may home service na rin sila.
But anyways,
in cottages.
we'd like to thank our special guest again
Yes, sir.
for this evening. Thank you so much for joining this crazy motley crew
Thank you.
from Blast Radius Podcast. We hope you come back whenever you have free time.
Sure.
Our door's always open. Thanks
Yes,
again,
sir.
bro.
Salamat.
And to all the listeners out there, we hope you enjoyed episode 4 of our Purian podcast of Blast Radius Podcast.
So, alternating to. Minsan
Alternating.
seryoso, minsan patawa, minsan usapang malibog.
Thanks a lot, everybody. Please like, subscribe, and
Leave a comment.
make your comments down below.